Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to begin the code for drawing boxes in this program we're making. So function draw box, target movie clip, object width, object height, fill color, and fill alpha. Then we say width, target movie clip, begin fill, fill color, fill alpha, move to 0, 0. Line to object width and 0, then line to object width and object height, then line to 0 object height, and then line back to 0, 0, and end fill. So what this function basically does is just like in a Flash editor, when we look to draw a rectangle and we drag here, there's this box that this black box that's moving around now until I release it will turn into a box. So that's what we're trying to make here. What the begin fill function does, it says move to 0, 0. So when you draw it, it will start off at 0. Then it says line to object width and 0. And if you say object width is 80, the line to uses x and y values. So line to x and then y. So in case line to, if the object width is 80 and object height is 0, so it'll be 0 again. Then line to again object width and object height. The object height in this case is 80, so the y would go down to 80. But of course, it will be like this if it was 0 and object height, but it's object width and object height. I'm not even sure I'm explaining this correctly. And then it's a line to 0 again. Remember, this was 0, so we'll go back to 0. And object height, which object height is down here, and then the line back to 0, 0 again. X is 0 and y is 0. So whatever you put, that's how it draws a box. That's how this draw box function works. Uh, Now that we're finished with this box, we're going to try to actually draw a box with. First, we'll test to see if this function actually works. So, draw box. Can't just have a random target. So, we'll say root dot create empty movie clip. Give it the instance name of box movie clip and a depth of, for now, 3. Then we can say draw box movie clip, um, a width should be like 80. Height is 80. Fill color should be something like blue, so 000099, and the fill alpha is 100. So let's test this. Nothing happened. Hold on a second. Okay, with target movie clip, not tack get. Okay, so up here it draws this box. It draws this box up here, starts off at 0, then it moves to 0 x-axis and 0 axis. Then it lines to object width, which was 80, and still 0 y-axis. Then lines again to object width, which is just width is just 80 again, and the height, which is 80, so it goes down, the y becomes 80. Then it lines to 0 and object height, which is down here, and then lines back to 0 and 0. So that's how it makes the basic box shape. I wonder if between this line to here we were to say line to object width plus 510, and the height is object height divided by 2. So if you see, it makes a sort of shape coming out and going back in. Let me make it more pointy for you to see. Object width times 2. So it comes out and goes in. So it starts off at 0, then 80, 0 still. Then it lines to 80 times 2, which is 160. And then the y-axis is object height divided by 2, which the object height was 80 divided by 2 is 40. Then lines back to object width, which is 80, and object height, and then lines to 0 with object height and back to 0, 0. So that's how the line to function works. Alright, hope you understood that better than my draw by draw calculations or examples. And now we'll want to say if mouse and mouse down equals function, if current 2 is equal to box, let's think of a variable. Old x or old object x is equal to x mouse. Same for, we make a variable called old object y, should equal be equal to y mouse. We'll take this create movie clip, put this inside here. We'll add a line style as well. So we'll say box movie clip dot line style. Thickness is 1, RGB, color 54, 54, 54, 54. That would give a basically unique gray shade color. The alpha 100, 100, Pixel hinting, set that to true. No scale, nope, none. Put that none in text. Cap style, none again. Joint style, put that to Milta. And the Milta limit, put that to 1. And we can say box movie clip dot x is equal to old x, and box movie clip dot y is equal to old y. And then we'll define a variable right here, can go up to be equal to true. That's for once you press and drag, it can go up is true, it will be able to release. And when you're dragging, it will draw the object. So what this basically does here is when you press mouse down on stage, if the current tool is equal to box, that we click the box tool, so the current tool becomes box, then it'll make a random variable called OX, and that will be whatever the X mouse was. Then I'll say OY, set that to what Y, the Y axis of the mouse was. Then create empty movie clip, call that box, and the depth will be 3, but we'll change that to movie clip dot line style. Just set the line style to it. Since shade drawing, this would shade everything. We can um let me draw the box. Just comment out this draw box for them. And then box after we set the line style, we set the box X to all X, which was what when you click first thing wherever your X and Y was, that will be all X. So that's where this will start off. That one, this one in the corner here, that'll be all X. That's where the X and Y will be. And as a dragon, the width will be equal to what it currently is. That's what I'm expecting it to be. And then we see root dot go up is equal to true. We'll come to the go up. So we can make an unanswer frame function now. Unanswer frame is equal to function if root dot can go up if current tool is equal to box, then can make the new variable, which is what we want the width to be. We call that drag x will be equal to the x mouse minus the whole x. Same for the y. Drag y will be equal to y mouse minus whole y. The reason why it is what I am minus 1 because if I bring out rulers, let's say we start at 50 to drag. When I continuously drag and drag y would be equal to, and I drag by 100 and 100, because you've seen 100 up here and 100 up here, drag y will be equal to 100, but then that will set the width of the whole box to 100, but we actually want it to be this 100 minus this 50, which would be 50. So we'll continue in the next video. Bye.